David has heard about the death of his king Shaul and his beloved friend Yonasan from the Ger Amaleki, who reports that he was the one who actually finished Shaul off, and David and his men rip their clothes and cry and fast and mourn the death of these great people and the loss of the Jewish army in war and the battle, and then David instructs one of his men to kill the Amaleki who finished Shaul off for his audacity of setting his hand against God's anointed king. Okay, and then David composed a dirge or elegy, I think is the right word, a kina, like we do on Tisha B'Av. When we started yesterday, start from there. Briefly go over the first two psukim. And he said, "Lelamed, we need to teach Bnei Yehuda Kashes. We need to teach the sons of Yehuda the art of archery, because if the Philistines won by those methods, we're going to have to keep up with the latest technological advancements in warfare." So it seems. What? That's what we said yesterday. Hine, this idea is already Kesuva, written al Sefer HaYashar, on the book of the Yashar, which we say is another name for the book of Bereshith. And there is a prophecy of Yaakov Avinu that one day the children of Yehuda will be archers. That is one way to read this passage. Hatzevi Yisrael, that which is coveted by the Jewish people, which is what is coveted by the Jewish people, the land of Israel. Al Bamaisecha, on your elevated places, meaning your mountains. Chalal is where the slain are on the mountains of Israel. Eich naflu giborim, how have the mighty fallen? That's an expression of woe, of how these mighty soldiers have fallen to the enemy. Okay, pasuk Chaf, new pasuk. Al tagidu begas. Don't report in gas. Gas is, or Gat, is one of the Philistine towns.
Yeah,
right?
That's good.
Yeah, Kiryat Gat today was in the same area. So don't tell it there. Means David, obviously David can't stop people telling it, but this is a request. It's his poetical way of saying, this is awful that this news should get to Gat, because what's going to happen there? They're going to make fun of us and torment us and laugh and scoff at the weak, defenseless Jews who God took them out of Egypt, can't save them from the Philistines. So, al tagidu begat, don't tell this, lehagid, report in Gas. Al tavasru, don't report. That's a similar word with slightly different meaning. Okay, that's how poetry is, right? Tagidu means to tell a story. Tavasru is to give the news. Besurot tavot, news. Al tavasru bechutzot Ashkelon. Don't tell this report in the streets of Ashkelon. Chutz means
Street.
not really. Chutz means outside, right?
Oh, Chutzlaret.
Oh,
Chutzlaret, right. So chutzot are the outside,
Periphery.
outside places, as opposed to inside. It's out, and that's why I say in the street, right? Okay. When you talk in modern Hebrew of like pirsum chutzot, means like you advertise something on a billboard, right? A billboard. You know, you have these adverts in the street. That's called chutzot. So that's what it means. So don't go telling this in Gat, and don't tell the news in the streets of Ashkelon. Pen means lest, means don't do this because this is what will happen if you do. Tismachna benot pelishtim, the daughters of the Philistines will be, what's the translation? Tismachna, happy, right? I have the word simcha, okay? But tismachna is the way you say it when you talk about many women. Tismachna, lest the daughters of the Philistines will be happy. Pen ta'alozna benot ha'arelim, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised will be ecstatic. Yeah, you rejoice, whatever. Again, aliz is a similar word to simcha. It's a slightly different description of the same thing. I think simcha is more a feeling inside, and aloz is more like the way you express it outside. So this is what will happen if you go around 10. They're going to be happy and dancing for joy in the streets and making parties at our downfall, and that is a desecration of God's holy name. Continues David. Hare bagilboa al tal. Hare means Har is mountain. Hare.
Wait, har or har?
Har.
Oh, har.
H-Resh. Mountain. Hare means mountains of, right? But it doesn't say the mountains of what? But it obviously means the mountains of Israel. And it says Bagilboa in the Gilboa. Now the Gilboa is a range of mountain peaks around where the battle took place. So he's referring to the mountains of Gilboa. Al tal, don't produce tal. Tal is dew. D-E-W is the condensation that comes from the wetness, from the moisture in the air. So David is cursing these mountains that they should remain dry and not have dew on them. Al tal, don't produce tal. Ve'al matar aleichem, and there should be no rain upon you. Matar is rain, like talu matar. As if they don't deserve to have rain because they allowed the deaths of Shaul and his sons to take place on these mountains. Or this should be a way to commemorate, to remember that these are cursed mountains that absorb the blood of Shaul. So it shouldn't rain. David curses them that they shouldn't rain. Now, if you want to go there today, right, you'll see that these mountains are not very productive. The top of these mountains. Yeah. Usadei terumot. Sadei means
Fields.
Fields, good. Sadei terumot
Is it a place?
So truma usually means something that you elevate, make special. It's all here. What's truma? There in the corner. There's two red ones, green ones in the corner. What you give to the priest, it means it's lifted up from the word of larum, ram al gogoyim Hashem. Ram is means. So again, it's referring to these mountains because they're elevated. Before we turn to the mountains as bamatecha, and here's referring to the mountain as terumot, the places which are lifted up. So the fields of the mountains should not have rain or dew. Why? Kisham, because there, in these mountain range of Gilboa, nig al magen giborim. The magen is a shield, like Magen Abraham. The shield of the mighty was nigal. Now nigal means no, that's with an aleph. It's with an ayin. Nigal, when something's goal, it's disgusting. Goal nefesh. It means you say something's disgusting. So it means it rejected. That's what it means over here. When you reject something, you don't want to have anything to do with anything. That means that the shields, nig al magen giborim, the shields of the mighty rejected. Rejected what? It seems like rejected their job. It means instead of being the job of the shield is to protect the person carrying the shield, and they refuse to do their job. Like they I think that's what I was trying to say. Magen Shaul, the shield of Shaul, beli Mashiach b'shemen, without being anointed with oil. What does that mean? Why would a shield be anointed with oil?
Shield? Because it belongs to the king?
Possibly. I wasn't told that's what it means. I mean, you don't anoint the shield.
Well, no, I mean, I've heard even... How did I... No.
Why would you anoint a shield?
Well, I've heard you anoint the king.
Maybe it's an important shield.
Actually, no, I think it was coming up.
Why anoint it?
Maybe it makes like the weapons slide off.
Oh, that's what I was always taught. I was
that makes so
taught
much more
that it makes them
sense.
slip in. It makes partly helps them make more protective. So if
you
it
get
didn't
sword.
work, right? So then it looks like Shaul's shield had not been anointed by the oil, right? Yeah. Look, you wouldn't use the word anointed if you were writing prose, but this is poetry, right? So you want to use anointed. Anointed is something you do with a king, and we're talking about a king losing his kingship. there's lots of levels to read it. But I think that's what it means. It means Shaul's the weapons or the shields of the mighty men rejected, means didn't do their job. The shield of Shaul as if it were not anointed with oil, and therefore it was pierced by instead of sliding off. Midam chalalim, from the blood of the slain. Chalal is a corpse. Now, we're in the middle of a sentence. We have to read the verb of the sentence in a second. Meichelev giborim, from the fats of warriors. Keshet Yehonatan, the bow of Yonatan. So you see Yonatan has a bow, right? Lo nasag achor, did not retreat backwards. What does it mean?
Right, he didn't draw his string.
Oh, honestly, I'm not sure because if you look at the end of the sentence, you're thinking it's being negative, that Yonasan was not able to do what he's supposed to do. But look at the end of the sentence. It says, "V'cherev Shaul, and the sword of Shaul, lo tashuv reikam, will not return empty."
So it had blood on it.
So when a sword returns empty, what does that mean? We saw.
Which it's not filled with blood.
No. Well, it means not doing its job. Empty-handed. When you come empty-handed, means you had a job to do, and you come back empty-handed means you're not successful. So a sword returning empty means not having completed its job. The sword of Shaul does not come back empty-handed, but exactly the opposite has happened, hasn't it? Shaul's come back empty-handed. He's dead. So I think what David is saying, he's describing how it usually was. When Yonasan and Shaul went out to fight, they were always successful. They didn't come back empty-handed. Shaul usually, right? Now he has, but he's like contrasting for how it usually is. Usually, Yonasan was not scared of the gore and the blood in a battle. It means Yonasan's hand did not retreat backwards because of the blood and the slain and because of the fats of the mighty ones. That didn't stop him from continuing to fight, even though there was lots of blood around and lots of dead bodies and corpses all over the place, right? That didn't get him scared or make him run away. And Shaul's sword would not come back empty, meaning not having fulfilled its job, doing what it was supposed to do. That's how it was up to now. Unfortunately, now it's not like that. We just said their shields couldn't protect them, and they are slain. Shaul v'Yonasan, Shaul and Yonasan, Hane'ehavim, who were beloved to him and to each other, V'Hane'imim, and who were pleasant. Means I enjoyed their company. B'chayehem, in their lives. In their lives they were beloved and loved each other. Ubemoisam, and in their deaths, lo nifradu, they did not separate. It means they lived together, they are happy together, and they died together. Min isharim kalu, they were lighter than. No. Nesher is eagle. They are lighter than eagles. Now, I don't think it means light in the sense you put an eagle on the scales, it's not very heavy. No, don't think it means that. Kalu means in the ability to get from one place to another place very quickly. Swiftly, right. Well, here, I think actually here means with the ability to change direction instantly, which I think something eagles do very easily without much. Just by tipping the edge of the wings, they manage to change direction. I think because we talk also about women being kal das, right? Noshim daiton kalois means that women have the ability to change their opinions very, very quickly. You want this, or women can focus on 10 different things at once, right? Whereas men like to stay focused properly. Agile might be a good word. Me arayos gaveru, they were mightier than lions. This pasuk has been taken from this pasuk. You use it in our davening on Shabbos morning. Those who daven Nusach Ashkenaz, this is taken as a memorial of the Jews who died during the Crusades. There's a thing we say every Shabbos morning called Avarachamim, and there it says the same line. They were swifter than eagles and mightier than lions. This is David describing Shaul and Israel in their life and in their deaths. Benois Yisrael, daughters of Israel, El Shaul, to Shaul, Bechena. Bechena, come on, Bechena, from the word Bechi, or Livkot, which means... No, that's with a ches. Bechia, Bechia, or the Chaf means, no idea what it means. Livkot, to cry. Livkot. But the daughter of Israel should cry over Shaul. Hamalbishchem. Why are you going to work out these words on your own? What's the root of Hamalbishchem? What's the root? 3-letter root. Come on, there's 6 letters there. 7 letters.
So it's not Han on them.
It's not the hay.
Clothing.
Very good. From the word lavush is clothing. Hamalbishchem, he who clothes you. He who clothes. Shaul clothed the daughters of Israel. In what sense? Shani. Shani means scarlet. Shnei is 2. Shani is scarlet. Means scarlet is very expensive cloth. But Shaul, through his victories and through his peace that he brought through the country, was able to make it function in a way that people were successful and they could make money and they could have nice clothes. So Shaul through his leadership as king is credited for the fact that Jewish girls could dress nicely. So he was the one that literally clothed you, but he's the king who's behind it all. Im Adanim, together with, come on, it's the name of one of the guys in this class. Im Adanim, with pleasantries. Eden, like Gan Eden, right? Means the garden of pleasantry. Pleasant, nice things, right? So when you have a Ma'adan, what's a Ma'adan? Yeah, well, it's like a choco in the morning. What do you call these chocolate things?
Choco. The pudding?
The puddings, right? Well, that sort of thing, that's called a ma'adan. Because it's a treat. That's what it means, right? Right? It's a treat, okay? So that's what Adanim are. So Shaul has clothed you girls in scarlet and with treats, jewelry and that sort of thing. Hamale adei zahav. He who elevates gold jewelry. Adim are jewelry. Zahav, gold, al levushchen, on your garments. So he gives you clothes, he gives you treats, he gives you jewelry, and now you don't have that, so you should mourn and cry over the loss. Eich naflu giborim, how have the mighty fallen? He said that before, I'm not sure why he repeats it. Betoch ha-milchama, in the middle of the war. If the war had ended, it would have been one thing, but we still got to fight these Philistines. Now we don't have our warriors to fight them anymore. So it's like a double problem. Betoch ha-milchama. Yehonatan, Jonathan, al bamotecha halal. He is a corpse upon your high places. Again, on the mountains, specifically referring to Jonathan now. But the whole thing was about Jonathan and Shaul, and now he's focused first on Shaul, and now specifically on Jonathan. Tsarli alecha achi. It's very difficult for me, very problematic. Alecha, about you, my brother Yonasan. No'amta li ma'oid. You were very pleasant to me. Means your company was something that I enjoyed. We talked and we schmoozed and we talked in learning and we felt our neshamas bonded. In our talks on Emunah, we talked about with Goliath when he went to attack her. That's where Yonasan felt close to him. Ahavascha li nifla'ata. Nifla means it was wondrous, like a pele.
Yeah,
Nifla, amazing, right? Ahavascha li. Your love to me was more wondrous to me, me'avas nashim, than the love of women.
Wow.
Which is simply understood to mean that David loved Jonathan more than he loved women. Which is a bit of a strange comment, because David didn't love women, he loved his wife. Right? Right? Who loves women? I mean, yes, some people do, but that's a very, very low-class description of a Peruzim in the street who loved women, right? David loved his wife, right? And therefore it's a bit of a strange thing to say.
Wives.
It's true he had more than one wife, but even still. You should say that my wives.
Even at this point, you had more than one wife? Before
Yeah, he
was
had 3 wives already, yeah. Well, he was technically in a way
3
already.
wives and counting.
Yeah. We'll see how many he had.
They didn't count.
Probably the real way to translate this means then it means the way between women. It means the relationship, how one person likes another person. David's love for Jonathan was much more than the way a woman would like another woman. They would be close friends and friends forever, and David and Jonathan was even stronger than that. But I don't know if we should obviously it's like, I don't know, it's like it's beneath me or you or anybody to even to mention it in class. But because you'll hear it from other people, it's worth mentioning it, right? Like people who should be shot, and that's the recording, like Yael Dayan, right? Moshe Dayan's daughter, who claimed when there was a discussion on homosexuality in the Knesset, what's a big deal? David was homosexual, right? Right? You're right? Well, it says here, doesn't it? It says David loved Jonathan more than he loved women, right? So, because people will make this stupid, ridiculous, nonsense claim, so you can know that that's not what it means. You know, I love all you guys as well means I'm a homosexual. It doesn't mean that at all.
You love us more than women?
Yes, certainly more than women. More than my wife is another question, right? But it's a completely different. It doesn't mean that, you know. We love God means we're homosexual because God's a man. It's such a stupid comment. It just shows ridiculous nonsense. I don't think it's necessary to refute it. It's just like people will make this claim when they see this pasuk, you know. She got a hot coffee thrown at her because of this, but that guy ended up in prison. Someone in the Knesset, someone who was happening, not an MK, someone was there, throw his hot coffee in her face because she said this about David HaMelech.
Who is this person?
Whatever, some guy who happened to be there.
No, who was the person that said it?
Oh, Yael Dayan. You know Moshe Dayan,
Yeah, I heard of the guy.
right? Moshe Dayan, the guy with one eye. He was the Minister of Defense during the 6-Day War, I think. Moshe Dayan. Anyway, his daughter is an MK. Well, I don't know if she is anymore. Anyway,
She said that.
She says, "Oh yeah, well, of course." She says it, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's a problem with people like
It's a problem.
people knowing that.
Yeah. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nivra b'dvar.
Amen.
Got 3 cups there, everybody wants to do a mitzvah.
Ammunition.
Right, I love you guys. Okay. All right. Eich naflu giborim. How have the mighty fallen? That's the 3rd time he said it. V'yovdu kelei milchama, and the utensils of wars have been lost. Now that could be literally meaning the utensils of war, but it's a bit of a what's the war? Anticlimax to finish it off with those words when you're talking about the deaths of Shaul and Jonathan and all these officers, and also we lost our weapons. It could be referring to the weapons, meaning the weapons are Shaul and Jonathan. Just repeating they're actually the weapons. What? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's the end of this. Kina, Vayi Africa in chapter days. It was after that. Vayi Shal David Ba'Hashem, and David asked God. How does David ask God? By the Urim B'Tumim. That's the usual way. He's not a prophet. He doesn't have a prophet with him. And so, but he did have the Kohen, and he had the Urim B'Tumim, and that's the way he did. What's he supposed to do now? Like, what's the whole story? How do you go from this point on? Shaul's dead. He's been appointed king by the prophets, but not, when he's actually supposed to actively go and do it, take a crown, put on his head, and declare himself a king. He's not done that yet. Is now the time to do it? That's really what David wants to know. Is he supposed to go now and make himself king and insist and force the Jewish people to accept his kingship? How's he supposed to go about it? What's he supposed to do? Ha'ele. The hey is a question. The aleph means I. Ale means to go up. Should I go up? Be'achat arei Yehuda. Should I go up to one of the cities of Judah and make myself, or should I go up there and settle there? Because at the moment, where was he? He was in Ziklag, which was where Philistine town. Should I go now into the land of Israel? Is now the time to start taking over? That's really the question. Shaul's dead. Should I go up to the city of Yehuda? Vayomer Hashem Elav, and God answered, and he said, Ale, go up. You asked a question, you got an answer. You ask one question at a time, right? Now I want to know which city. Vayomer David, Ana Ele, where should I go? Which city should I go? Vayomer Chevrona, to Hebron. So David's going to be instructed now to go to Hebron and settle there. Vayal Sham David. So David went up there from the Philistine area, which is further down in the valley, went up to the mountains. Hebron's in the mountains, just like Yerushalayim is. V'gam Shtei Nashav, also his two wives, who were Achinoam HaYisraelit. Don't remember, it's always those two. He has a third one, but the third one is Michal, the daughter of Shaul, who has been looked after by
She's with Tarti?
Palti ben Laish. Palti ben Laish was appointed by Shaul to look after Michal in David's absence, although that wasn't Shaul's intention, but that's actually what happened. He looked after her while David was away, and in the meantime David doesn't have her back because she is in territory that is not under David's control. At the moment it's really under nobody's control, right? Because we don't know who's going to take it over, but it's not going to be David. So he with his two wives, which two? Achinoam from Jezreel and Abigail, the former wife of Nabal, a Carmeli from Carmel. The Anashav Asher Imo, and the men who were with him, right? Although David didn't ask or wasn't told, but they came with him. Right? Doesn't go on his own. All those men, how many was that? 600 men with their families. He'el David Ishu Beisabeh. Went up with David. David took them up. No, it says David took them up. David took them up, each man and his household. That means their wives and children. Yeshu Ba'arei Hebron, and they lived, or they settled in the cities of Hebron. It means Hebron wasn't just one city. There was a Levite city, there was other parts of Hebron which were owned by Kalev, and the villages, that's where they settled. Right? Vayavo Anshe Yehuda, and the men of Yehuda came, Vayimshehu Sham as David LeMelech, and they anointed David as king. So David has been anointed by Shmuel, but he's not been recognized by the people yet. We mentioned, according to the Malbim, Shmuel on his deathbed made his public knowledge that David is to be the next king. And the men of Yehuda were the first to accept him as their authority. The men of the other parts of the country did not. Okay, but the men of the tribe of Yehuda was now accept just Yehuda, no other tribes. The Melech al Beis Yehuda, to be king over the tribe of Yehuda, the house of Yehuda. And apparently you can have such a thing, a king over a tribe. Just like Canaan had 31 kings in it before Joshua conquered it. So king doesn't have to be over.
That was more so like a city-state then.
No, but what does that mean? You know, how do you define the difference between a king over the Iberian Peninsula or a king over Castile? Right? So he was a king. What's a king?
Also, Moshe, back in like ancient times, like the idol worshipping kings, they would like rule maybe over 2 small villages and call themselves like God.
But even today,
yeah, even
you can have a king of Belgium.
and
It's not very big.
Belgium's
Really?
nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Well, only because you're American, you think Americans are big. Belgium thinks Belgium is very important. Right?
Is it really?
That's what you think.
Okay, as a British man, is Belgium anything?
That's another question. I'd have to be politically correct. You know, I don't know exactly how you define a king.
It's a lot bigger than
Well, a king is big, depends on big. The king of England isn't a king because America's 100 times bigger. Like, everything's relative. America isn't king because Russia's twice as big as America. That means you're not a king. You know what I mean, right? King just means you're the ruler and it's hereditary. I think that's what a king means. So David was the king over Judah. Right? All right. Anyway, that's the story. And really the question is more of a halachic question. Because there are laws about a king. The king has got a limited number of wives. The king has a mitzvah to write another sefer Torah. There's so many rules, restrictions on kings, responsibilities of kings. Do they apply if you're just the king of Yehuda or not? Do you have to be king of all 12 tribes? Okay, so that's a very good, important point to discuss. I think that being a king of a tribe is enough. By Agidu le David Lamar, and they reported to David. So David is now king. So from now we can call him David HaMelech. Right? He's David, he's king of Yehuda. And people came and told him, say who? People came and told him, Anshe Yavesh Gilad. They said, the men of Yavesh Gilad, what about them? Who remembers what they did?
They went to get the...
Right, Ashe Kovru as Shaul, that they buried Shaul. So David didn't know about this. I don't know what, but now they told him. He heard the news that the men of Yavesh Gilad had buried Shaul, not just Shaul, and his son. They took him down from the walls. It was very courageous. They went in the middle of the night and they pulled him down, even knowing the Philistines may attack them. They came and buried Shaul with all the due respect. Vayishlach David. So David heard this, and he sent messengers. Vayishlach David malachim. This is his first act as king, it would seem, to react to this courageous act of the people of Yavish Gilad. What did he do? He sent messengers. El anshe Yavish Gilad, to the men of Yavish Gilad. Vayoyim aleim, he said to them, Beruchim atem lashem. Blessed are you to God. Means you should be blessed, or you are blessed for what you've done. Means you should not. It's not like I hold it against you. On the contrary, I'm very happy you did it. I think it was very brave. I want to show my gratitude to the brave men of Yavish Gilad for doing this, and I bless you.
It's on the other side of the Jordan, right?
Yavish Gilad is in Gilad, right? It's on the other side of the Jordan, correct? Up north somewhere. Asher asisem hachesed hazeh, that you did this kindness, meaning this kindness of burying Shaul, im Adonechem, with your master, im Shaul, with Shaul. Now that sort of language is usually nuanced. It could have just said im Adonechem Shaul, or im Shaul Adonechem, or not repeated it at all. But it doesn't. It says the word im twice. Im Adonechem, with your master, im Shaul, with Shaul. Implying that they actually did two things. It wasn't just one person. That means he was both an individual, which is what the name implies, and Adonechem means he's your master, means he's the king. It means what you did, what you did is you risked your life to bury him, was something which was worthy of praise, both because he was your king, and secondly because he was such a great man. As an individual, he was also a very great person who was so great that he was picked to be king. But being king itself is something which was worth your interference to take him down from the wall. But tikbroi, so, and you buried him. So I praise that, and I bless you, and God should bless your activities. V'ata, and now, Ya'as Hashem imachem, God should do with you, chesed ve'emes, be kindness and true, means true to repay you for what you did. V'gam anochi e'aseh itchem hatova hazot, and I will also do with you this goodness. What does that mean? Asher asisem hadava, that you did this thing. Meaning?
It's going to reward them.
Oh, that's what I thought it meant. That's what I think is simple. Pshat, it means that just like you did this, and I pray that God should reward you for doing this, I will also reward you for doing this.
What else could it mean?
Some other time. Malvin has another take what it means.
Really?
Right? But let's read like this. It's much more simple. I don't think it complicated what it
I want to hear the story.
right? Because it's a bit of a stretch, that's all. The word zot doesn't make so much sense when we read it, which is, I will also do good with you. This goodness? No, it means, I will also do good for this thing that you did. But it doesn't read so well.
What does all of them say?
Well, some other time.
We're never going to
No, one day you'll do them out there. I don't want to confuse it. Let's read it like that. It reads well, it's nice, you're happy with it, I'm happy with it. Okay? It's much more complicated to right. So, and now, God should do kindness with you, and I will also repay you for this kindness, that you did this thing. Okay. V'ata, and now, techezakna yedeichem, your hands should be techezakna, strong. Techezakna. Right? Why does it say in the plural, in the feminine?
According to Torah. That's what I don't know.
Why in the feminine? Because yad is feminine.
Oh.
Hand is a feminine word. Okay. Your hands should be strong. Means they were strong, weren't they? They were the ones who went there and took down the bodies from the... So they've shown their strength. Your hands should be strength. V'hiyu libnei chayil, and be men of bravery. Ki meis adonechem Shaul, because your master Shaul has died. So what does he want him to do?
Avenge them. He's going to start a war now?
So what does he want him to do?
Come back?
Come back? No, not back. Let's carry on. The Gam Oti, and also I, means in addition to the fact that Shaul has died, that's one fact that you should bear in mind. Mashchu beis Yehuda lemelech aleihem. The men of Yehuda have anointed as king over them. So therefore, bearing those two things in mind, which is that your master Shaul has died, and I have been anointed king by the tribe of Yehuda to be king over them, you should be strong and be men of valor and brave and
Join.
and what?
Join.
Beautiful. That's what I thought he's trying to say. Although he doesn't say it explicitly.
Kingdom or
Enjoy and be allegiance to me. Swear your allegiance to King David. Right? I mean, that's what I thought he's trying to say, although he didn't say the words explicitly. Possibly because he doesn't want to.
He wants them to come up with the idea.
Yes, or, you're going to find out very soon that there is another king. Right? Very soon there is another king. The next pasuk. The next pasuk, right? The son of Shaul was also king at the same time. So we have two kings side by side. So to say to someone, explicitly, I want you to, depart from your allegiance to him and come to my side, that's not politically correct. But I can suggest it to you. And of your own volition, you'll come and join me. That's what I think it means. Well, again, the Malbim has another take on it. The Atta techazakni, to be strong. David wanted them because they were brave guys. They were the guys who went and buried Shaul, and they liked Shaul. Remember why they liked Shaul? People of Yabesh Gilad remembers. Come on.
They defended him.
Very good. Excellent. They were the ones who defended. Right, Shaul defended the people of Yabesh Gilad when they were attacked by Nachash, the king of Ammon. So if David has them on his side, that's a good move. Right? A, because they have a natural allegiance to Shaul, and also they've shown their bravery in their desire to put right their loyalty to Shaul. But if they then show their loyalty to him, that really good move. But it might mean that the problem is there's no reaction on their part. There's no continuation to this story. That's the end of the story. It doesn't say they said yes, they said no. We can see from their actions that they didn't join it. That we can see. So the way we're reading it, that's what it's saying. David wanted them on his side. He tried to get him on his side, but it didn't work initially. It does work eventually after many, many years. But initially, nobody joined him. Even though those were the ones. That's why I read it. I think it reads nicely. Okay. All right, let's continue. That's the end of the page. That's the end of this section of David's first action as king of Yehuda was to show his appreciation to the men of Yabesh Gilad, and the way we're reading it was actually his first attempt to expand his territory or loyalties from other tribes, but it was not successful, as we will see. The Avner Beneh, contrasting to David's activities, we have somebody else who's taking up the other side. Who was that? Avner Beneh. Interesting, he was still alive. He wasn't killed in that battle. He was the Sarah Tzava. He was the war minister. Now, it could be the war ministers don't go out to fight. Could be. It could be. Shaul was very brave. Look, Shaul was told to go out to fight by Shmuel. That would be an atonement. But yes, the king does go out to fight, but the war minister is, he's got to plan the battle. That's his job. If you lose a war minister, you've got to... Could be. But he could be wasn't battled and survived, I have no idea. But either way, he's not dead. Right? So he's Sarah Tzava Asher Shaul. He was the war minister of Shaul. And what did he do? Lakach, he took es Ish Boishes, a man called Ish Boishes, who was Ben Shaul, another son of Shaul. So we know we've got 3 sons. Right? Now we've got a 4th son. Right? Another son of Shaul. And he anointed him. Well, it doesn't say he anointed him because he didn't need to anoint him. Right? You don't anoint kings if they are sons of the previous king. That's the halacha.
Even if they're multiple,
well,
they take the oldest.
The multiple sons? No, even still. No. We only anoint when there's like a new dynasty. You'll see through the story of but the new dynasty you want to stay. Or if there's a contender, right, there's a fight over the throne, then like there were cases, but I suppose in his opinion, David is a non-entity. David isn't a fighter. Shlomo wasn't anointed. Shlomo was because there was another contender. Adoniah wanted the throne. Right. But usually it's not done like that. And over here, same thing. He doesn't say he anointed him, he just took him. Now, where did he take him to? Why did he take him anywhere? Because the western side of the country is gradually being occupied by the Philistines. So it's not really safe there. You want to set up a capital, you have to move it to the other side of the Jordan. That's where we're going to start. And from there, that will be the base to reconquer or re-establish the monarchy over the western side. But it started there. That's what he did. What did he do? Lakach, he took Ish Boishes ben Shaul, the son of Shaul. Remember this name? Ish Boishes. Interesting name. Boishes means? Boshet. You maybe know the word busha? Embarrassment. right?
Son
That's
of
what,
embarrassment.
son of embarrassment. It's an interesting name. Why you would give your kid a name like that? Ishboshet.
Son of embarrassment. No,
So
that's
now-
a good name. I'm gonna name my kid that.
Oh, man of embarrassment.
I'm joking.
Right, Aish.
Ish, man of embarrassment. Yeah. He actually has a grandson who you're going to get confused with later on, called Mephibosheth.
From son of
No,
embarrassment.
Mephibosheth, from the mouth of Bosheth.
From the mouth of embarrassment.
Whatever, it sounds like
Is that-
a family name. Now, we do know that Shaul was a very shy person, remember? He was the one who didn't want to be king and hid amongst all the suitcases when he was appointed. So it could be that that's why this name appears in his family name. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, just pointing it out, that's his name. His name is Ishboshet, and he's Shaul's fourth son. I don't know if it ages his fourth son. It's the fourth son that we have become familiar with. What did he do with him? Vaya'avi Rehu, he passed him Machanaim to Machanaim. I mean, he passed me, he took him over the Jordan River to Machanaim. What is Machanaim? Besides the name of a camp, it's a town where, who knows the story? Who remembers their Navi Chumash well? Machanaim. Okay, let me remind you, Yaakov Avinu fled from Lavan. And then Lavan chased after him, and they established a monument called Gal-Ed. And then Yaakov Avinu crossed over the river, and there he meets the angel of of Esav, and he walks him there, and his leg became dislocated, and he limps along, and then he sees a camp of angels. Okay, he says he met a group of angels. You don't remember this?
What?
Yeah, that's
In the Chumash.
In the Chumash. I didn't make this up. This is like very explicit. Some
thought-
things I make up, you know.
I thought you said it's in the
Wait, like what?
No, it's in
prophets.
Chumash. It's in Chumash. Chumash. Here it is. The end of Vayetze. And Lavan awoke early in the morning. He kissed his sons and daughters and blessed them. Then he didn't get to the end, right at the end of the parasha. You know, you don't get that far, right? Then Lavan went and returned to his way. Jacob went on his way, and angels of God encountered him. Jacob said, when he saw them, this is a godly camp. So he called the name of that place Machanaim. Because Machanaim means two camps. So why were there two camps? Because he had his angels with him, and he met another group of angels, and now there are two groups of angels. That's why he called the place Machanaim. According to Rashi, there were angels who accompanied him. There's angels that accompanied him when he was abroad, and angels that accompanied him when he was in Israel. They're different angels. Angels for Eretz Yisrael, angels for Chutz La'aretz, and they don't cross each other's territory. And as Yaakov was about to come to Eretz Yisrael, they met each other, and that's why it's called Machanaim. So it's somewhere, it's not actually at the border, right? Because when you come into Eretz Yisrael, we'll go out to greet you as well. You know, so the angels of Eretz Yisrael are prepared to leave to greet someone who's on his way. So Machanaim is just on the other side of the Jordan River in the territory of God, and that's where now Ishbosheth is going to settle and make his capital city.
Jacob was traveling around with angels?
Correct.
So are you.
Correct.
So are we.
That's what it says. 1,000 on one side and 10,000 on the other side.
Um,
That's why, actually, it's an interesting story. I once met a bus driver.
Yeah.
Fascinating story. I was about to give class on a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that says, don't belittle anybody, because everybody's got their moment. Okay? Everyone got their bit to give to the world. So I was about to give a class on that Mishnah, and I got onto this bus. I was thinking to myself, no, what's this bus driver got to give to the world? I'm he's a bus driver, you know, what? So then the bus driver gets me into conversation and says to me, when you meet someone, why do you greet them in the plural? That's what he asked me. Right? In Hebrew, what do you say? Shalom Aleichem. Why do you say in the plural? You should say Shalom Alecha to you. So I said, I don't know, it's a good
Talking to his
question.
angels.
He says, because when you're greeting the angels that accompany the guy, not just, and those are angels that come to you when you come home from shul.
You have angels.
Right?
I thought you only have angels when you come from shul out there in the week.
Oh, those are the new ones.
There's
You get new ones.
I have angels right now. I said new ones.
Yeah, because when did they go away? Those angels are with you, and then they take you till next week, right? So during the whole week, you've still got those angels.
What were the angels? What were the angels he was meeting? Like, what were they doing? They were in a
So according to Rashi, there were new angels to accompany when he came to the land of Israel. He was about to come to Israel, so they don't have the same angels. The others go back to heaven. The new special white, shiny angels for the land of Israel. They were the new angels that came to greet him.
Alright.
Anyway, that's the place of Machanaim, where the new capital of Israel is. It was in Givat Shaul, where Shaul lived, and now that's been taken over by the Philistines, somewhat, I don't know exactly. In order to be safe, they moved to Machanaim, and now that's where we're going to restart the reconquest of the Israel territory. Alright, that's we got up to a good place. Okay, one more pasuk. Yeah. Vayamlichehu, and he crowned him. From the word melech means he now became king over Gilad. Right, that's in the eastern side of the Jordan. The El HaAshuri, and the tribe of Asher, which is, where's that?
Syria.
In the north.
In the north.
Syria.
Right. Well,
Along
Syria.
the coast.
no.
It's not Syria. It's
No, not Syria. It's along the coast. Right. Very good. It's like more Lebanon way. Right.
from like Akko to
Akko.
Tyre.
Very good. Akko
I know my
to
language.
Tyre. Right. To Tsur. That's Asher.
Tehran.
And now those two places are not connected. The eastern side of the Jordan and the western coast of Israel are not joining, but there is a place that joins in between. The El Yisrael, the Jezreel Valley, which sort of joins those two together. So that was the part that he was in. Now it could be these things also are stages. Originally Gilad.
People were living in Jezreel Valley right now.
Well, eventually. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. The Philistines took over, but yes, I'm saying slowly. It didn't happen all in one go. You'll see. It says the El Ephraim, which is more south. The Al Binyamin, which is even more south, that's just north of where we are today. The Temple Mount is Binyamin. The Al Yisrael, wait a minute, finish the apostle. The Al Yisrael Kula, over the whole of Israel. So now, why didn't it just say over the whole of Israel? The answer is it's describing things that are happening in stages. Originally with Gilad, then it stretched to Asher, and then he got Israel, and then Ephraim, and eventually.